didn't notice it the first night because I didn't open my eyes. That's the part that still bothers me. I woke up facing the hallway, staring straight ahead, already awake enough to know I wasn't dreaming. The door to my bedroom was open. I never sleep with it open. I didn't feel fear right away, just confusion, like waking up in the wrong position after a long nap. The hallway light was off, but the darkness wasn't empty. It had weight to it, depth, the kind that makes your eyes strain even when there's nothing to focus on. I told myself it was just my vision adjusting. I blinked. The darkness stayed the same. I rolled onto my side and went back to sleep. The second night, I woke up again at the same time. I know it was the same time because my phone screen lit up when I shifted, and the clock read 3:12 a.m. The hallway was darker than the rest of the house, like a stain spreading out from the doorway. This time, I noticed something else. The darkness didn't reach the floor evenly. There was a shape interrupting it, tall, thin, and slightly bent forward, as if it was leaning just enough to look inside my room. I froze, not because I was scared yet, but because my body didn't seem to recognize what I was seeing. My brain kept trying to turn it into something normal. A coat, a shadow, a trick of the angle. But it didn't move when I shifted. It didn't move when I swallowed. I stayed awake for hours, staring, waiting for it to change or disappear. When morning came, the hallway was empty. I checked every room. Nothing was out of place. The third night, I didn't wake up facing the hallway. I woke up facing the wall. And that's when I realized something had changed. I could still see the darkness. It was closer, now stretching into my room, thin and uneven, cutting across the floor like it had leaned forward just enough to cross the threshold. I didn't turn my head. I didn't want it to know I was awake. My breathing felt too loud. Every inhale sounded like a signal. I focused on slowing it down, on staying still, on pretending to sleep the way you do when you're a kid and you think something is watching you from the doorway. That night, I heard it for the first time, breathing, slow, careful, like it was matching mine. I didn't sleep again until the sun came up. By the fifth night, I stopped checking the time. By the sixth, I stopped trying to convince myself it wasn't real. The shape was clearer now, not detailed, not defined, but undeniably there. Too tall for the hallway ceiling, too narrow to be human. It didn't step forward. It didn't sway or crawl. It just adjusted. Each night, it stood a little closer. I could tell by how the darkness crept across the floor, by how cold the air felt against my face, by how the breathing sounded closer to my bed. I learned something important during that time. It reacted to sound. When I shifted too quickly, the darkness deepened. When I swallowed too hard, it leaned. So I stayed still. I let my body ache. I let my throat burn. I let my eyes water without blinking. Because whatever was standing in my hallway wasn't trying to rush. It was being patient. The night it reached the foot of my bed, I almost screamed. The darkness touched the blanket, not like a shadow, but like pressure, sinking into the fabric, pulling the light out of it. I could feel it there, not with my skin, but with something deeper. The breathing was right in front of me now. I kept my eyes closed. I told myself that as long as I didn't look, it couldn't be sure I was awake. Minutes passed. Nothing touched me. The breathing stopped. That was worse, because then I heard the sound of weight shifting. The mattress dipped slightly. By morning, the hallway was empty again. The next night, there was no darkness in the hallway at all. That's when I realized I could feel it behind me, not touching me, not breathing, just standing there. I didn't turn around. I'm writing this now because it's standing there again. I can feel it, watching my back as I type. If you're reading this late at night and your bedroom door is open and the hallway looks darker than it should, don't turn around. It's already close enough. And I didn't look again. I moved to the other side of the room and sat on the edge of the bed. The rain followed me, not in sound, not exactly, but in presence. It felt closer now, heavier against the house, as if the distance between the sky and the roof had shortened without warning. Each drop landed with a duller impact, like it had less room to fall. I told myself it was just the storm shifting. That storms do that. That houses make noises when the weather changes. Still, I didn't look back at the window. Time passed in a way that didn't make sense. My phone sat untouched beside me. I didn't want the light. I didn't want confirmation of how long I'd been there, waiting, listening. Every few seconds, the rain would soften just slightly before returning to its normal rhythm, like something outside was leaning closer, then settling back. When the lightning flashed, the room filled with white for half a heartbeat. In that instant, I saw the wall opposite me, the door, the outline of the furniture. What I didn't see was the reflection of the window. The next flash came sooner. This time, I understood why. There was less rain on the glass than there should have been. Large sections of it were dry, clean, as if something had stepped close enough to shield it from the storm. I stayed where I was. I didn't turn around. I didn't breathe any deeper than I had to. The rain sounds wrong now. Not distant, not outside. It sounds like it's falling just inches away. I can feel the air behind me change when the lightning fades, like the room is accommodating something new, something tall enough to interrupt the storm without touching the ground. If I look, I know what I'll see. That's the worst part. Not the fear, not the waiting. It's the certainty that whatever has been standing in the dark this whole time has finally figured out where I am.